Hello and welcome back to the DistrActors podcast. My name is Ryan.
And I'm Toby.
And we are back with another few topics for you today. So last week we had a guest. We had Rebecca. She was lovely. And at the end of that podcast, we set a couple of goals that we wanted to achieve by the end of this week. And just to update you on the progress of those goals. So, Toby, have you kept up with your goal?
What was your goal? I don't even remember what your goal was.
My goal was to watch 3 episodes of The Crown.
That's right, okay. My goal was to try and be at least awake before noon. I was semi-successful. The last couple of days I've been up at 9 o'clock. But the rest of the days I was kind of just lazing about in bed at like 10 a.m., 11 a.m., but I was awake. But today I was very bad because I was just exhausted after yesterday, to be honest. So I was in bed till like after 12. And I'm not sorry.
I don't think you should be sorry for that. That's reasonable. For anybody... Well, nobody else would know this apart from who we were working with, but me and Toby were lucky enough to get to do a little bit of filming work yesterday. We were helping out our friend Fatima, and it was a lot of fun. It was quite good.
It was very cold.
It was
and
cold.
It was wet.
We were filming outside. Yeah. It was a bit rainy at the evening.
But
it was fun.
It was good. I had a lot of fun.
So did I. I thought it was great fun. So it sounds like your goal has been at least semi-successful.
Yeah, debatably successful. What about you?
I have not watched a single episode of The Crown since last week.
Wow. So, so this was your idea, and you were unable to carry it out.
I was unable to carry it out, but
I think you should feel bad.
I do feel bad. I'm not even going to make any excuses for it. I just haven't been watching it. I've been watching other stuff, so
it's pretty cringe.
It is a little bit cringe. I just want to put in, I have messaged Rebecca to find out what the progress of her goal is, and let me just bring up the messages right now. She says she hasn't actually painted anything, but she's going to today.
Oh my God, we're all terrible. We're all terrible. I'd like to raise a motion that we never do that segment ever again.
Oh, no, I thought it would be quite good to just do that every week. Every week it could be a running joke that we never do the goals.
Do it. No, it's boring. All right, we'll see. I took it seriously, you know.
I know you took it seriously. I took it seriously as well. I just didn't do it.
Shocking. What a revelation.
None of us have done any of the goals like fully. You're the one that has had most success. So I think we need to say hats off to Toby really quickly. That was good.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well done.
I was ready. I was coming in here ready to get my fucking ass blasted. But no. Turns out you two are lazy shits as well.
You can't say that because, like, Rebecca has actually been busy. She's still at work, whereas I actually am just a lazy shit.
Rebecca's a queen. We love Rebecca. Shout out to all the Rebeccas in the chat.
Okay, so same as last week, I want to kind of start off the bulk of the podcast with a best and worst of the week. You said that you've got some.
I'm kind of torn with my best of the week because I watched 2 really good films.
You can say both of them if you want.
Okay. So I watched a film called Room, starring Brie Larson.
Oh, okay.
And it's basically about a young lady. It's a very harrowing film. It's very difficult to watch. A young lady who was abducted when she was 17 and has been locked in a room basically for 7 years, and she's been raped every week, and she fathered a child with this horrible monster that kidnapped her, and it's basically about her escape and readjustment to society, and it's really fucking sad. It's a really
God
sad movie,
damn.
but beautifully acted from the young lad that was her son was only 5 years old, and just amazing, really, really, really good. But it's one of those films. I don't know if you have films like this where you acknowledge that they're fantastic, but you just can't. It's not something to watch again. It's not something to experience again. Does that make sense?
I know exactly the feeling that you're talking about, where you've just finished watching something and you're like, that was fantastic, but I never want to put myself through that again.
Yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah.
For me, like another film for me like that is Dunkirk. Like Dunkirk is like brilliant. Like it's so well shot and directed, and it's just a really, really faithful representation of what happened.
hmm
But I would never watch it again.
I actually don't know if I can think of any films that I've got like that off the top of my head. Anyway,
Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
I haven't seen Boy in Striped Pajamas.
Yeah, that's another one. It's like so well acted and such a harrowing, awful story. But
Yeah.
I would like great film. I just never watch it again.
I imagine Schindler's List is
Yeah,
that type of movie.
yeah. Like you wouldn't get the family around on Christmas Eve to watch Schindler's List, would you?
No. Well, I'll tell you what, I do have one, but it's not nearly as critically acclaimed. It's Marley and Me,
Oh yeah, yeah. I get that. I can't watch Marley and Me. I'll just greet. I'll just cry.
right?
Yeah.
I couldn't. I've watched it once fully and cried at the end of it, and I was like, no, I'm not. I don't want to watch that again.
But yeah, I strongly recommend you watch Room. And the other one I
Okay.
watched because I can't sort of decide between the two. Horse Girl,
Okay.
which is about a young lady. It's hard to describe it. What it's about. It's just about a very shy young lady who weird shit starts happening to her, and it's about her journey to try and figure out what the hell is going on in her life. That's about as much as I could say without spoiling it. It doesn't have very good reviews on IMDb, but its Metacritic and Rotten Tomato score are pretty solid, and I actually
Okay.
thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Don't go into it expecting to come out of it with all the answers, but
Is it okay?
very good. I liked it. So yeah, those two are
Okay.
my sort of best of the week. What about you?
My best of the week. I'm about to put on my pretentious hat right now,
Oh God, here we go.
because my favorite animated show is BoJack Horseman. Um, and there's a lot of memes about how only pretentious wankers like BoJack Horseman.
I've never seen it, so I wouldn't know.
It's an adult animation on Netflix. It's a Netflix exclusive series,
hmm
and I'm rewatching it because I haven't seen the last season of it, and I want to remind myself of everything that happens. And basically, it follows this struggling actor who, well, he's
Is a
not struggling. He
horse?
was, yes, he's a horse. Yeah, he's he's not actually struggling. He was on a very successful sitcom ages ago, but he's never really done anything since. And now he's like sort of battling depression and trying to find purpose in his life and failing miserably and just ruining everybody else's lives around him.
And he's a
It doesn't,
horse.
and he's a horse. It's never addressed why there's animal people in the universe, but it works quite well. And I can't really say anything other than that. It doesn't sound like a fun watch, but it is actually still really funny. Um, and it was my best of the week was a specific episode. It was one of the episodes in season 3 where they do like he goes to like an underwater film festival for this movie that he's just been in, and they're trying to do like the big Oscar push and everything. So he goes to the film festival underwater, and there's like fish people.
Fishman.
Yeah, but obviously he's like he
A
breathes
horse.
air, so he's got like an oxygen mask on the entire time,
What are you
and
talking about? Horses have gills.
um, I yeah, it's the reason I like it is because it's beautifully scored and it's beautifully animated, and it gets to explore a little bit of different animation than you usually see within the show. So I thought it was a risk that they took, and I liked it. Um, but yeah, that was my best of the week. Um, so what about your worst of the week? What was the worst thing you've seen?
Now this one's a little bit harder for me because I'm not. I don't like to shit on stuff that doesn't deserve it. And
Okay.
I can't honestly think of anything off the top of my head from, but like from the last time we spoke on the podcast to now that I can honestly say was just the worst. Like I can't think of anything.
That's fine. Some weeks you get lucky and you don't really see
Yeah, I
anything that's
got
a
pretty
bit
fucking
crap.
lucky this week. I could talk about
Yeah.
real world stuff that was definitely the worst of the week, but I
We
don't
don't want
want
to
this
do that though.
podcast to be about that. No, I don't want
No.
this podcast to be talking about all the shit that happened this week because this is a
Mm.
podcast where we have fun, okay? Are you having
Yeah,
fun?
I'm having fun.
Are you having fun?
Are you having fun?
Yes.
Good. I'm having fun.
Okay, your worst of the week then.
My worst of the week. You might take issue with this.
Oh,
Um,
fucking hell, here we go.
so you remember a couple of podcasts back, I said that I was watching The Office.
Yeah?
So me and Eleanor finished all of The Office within the space of a
Mm-hmm.
couple of months, and it was a brilliant show. Eleanor says it's become one of her top 5 favorite shows ever.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to say, the final episode of The Office was the worst of the week.
Right, you've not understood it. You've not understood it.
That's incredibly judgmental of you to say. Like,
Well,
why do you think I've not understood it?
Well, tell me why it's your worst of the week.
Because it jerks itself off for the final 20 minutes. Like, I'm telling you, they could have ended it the episode prior without having to do the reunion at the end. Like,
No, I like the reunion.
there's lots of good bits of the reunion. I like when Michael Scott comes back for Dwight and Angela's wedding. I
Or
like,
when Erin meets her mum and it's fucking Joan Cusack.
yeah, and she doesn't do anything though. It's like, it's Joan Cusack. It's a wasted opportunity. I thought they should have introduced her earlier if that's what they wanted to do.
For that little minute of Joan Cusack, she's just brilliant. She owns the scene. Why? Right. I want to make a public plea right now. Please give Joan Cusack more film roles. She's just the best. She's
She is
wonderful.
very good.
She's just
Yeah.
great in everything she does. I immediately think of childhood favorites of mine, like School of Rock and Looney Tunes Back in Action, where she's just the best. She's so fucking funny. Please,
Jessie from Toy Story.
yes, please, Joan Cusack. Someone give her just lots of money and tell her to be funny, and she'll do it.
Do you know what, though? Do you know what? I agree with everything you've just said. And I think they could have done Joan Cusack more service by introducing that storyline as a storyline maybe 5 episodes prior. It could be that
I get that.
she was a customer of the paper company and she had to come into the office, and it just so happens that she gets talking with Erin, and then the entire episode could be, how does she tell Erin that she is her birth mother?
That would be great. I think, yeah.
See?
They should have hit the Joan Cusack button half a season earlier.
Yeah. I will also say I enjoyed the way that Jim and Dwight interacted throughout the entire reunion, whereas Jim being the best man that he could possibly be, with like good pranks. But I hated the fact that they had to fire Kevin at the very start just to add a little bit of drama halfway through it.
But he was
It's
terrible.
stupid.
He's terrible.
Yeah, he's terrible, but you don't want to start the season finale of the last episode ever of your favorite of The Office and see one of the best characters fired.
Yeah, but he was committing fraud.
I understand why they did it in Story World. I just think, as a viewer, I don't want to see that.
One of my favorite beats from the final episode, I think it's in the final episode, is when Dwight fires Pam and Jim and then says, now you can get full severance. which I just thought
Yeah,
was
I did.
great.
I did like that a little bit.
I thought that was just so
Yeah,
sweet because it's
that
just
was
not a Dwight thing to do.
no. Yeah, no. I do think Dwight was one of the standouts from the final episode. Um,
He's one of the standouts of the whole show,
I
if not the standout.
as soon as Michael Scott left, he became the best character.
Dwight was
And
always the best character. Oh, I need to talk to you about Scott's tots.
okay, talk to me. Yeah, talk to me.
How did you feel watching that?
It's so bad watching it.
It's
It's so
total
bad.
curlingly cringe. It's the most cringe-worthy piece of TV I have ever seen. For anyone who doesn't know, basically 18 years ago or whatever, or 12 years ago, Michael Scott said he would pay for the college tuition of an entire class of poor students from poor African American students who grew up in poverty. And
Yeah.
he posed as a millionaire and said he would pay for all of their college tuition if they made it through to the end of school, because he expected by however many years in the future he would be a millionaire. But so he goes to see them on their graduation day, and they put on like a big show, and they give a lot of like tearful speeches how they're so grateful that they're going to be getting given this opportunity to go to college and stuff. And Michael has stood there through the whole thing, and he has to tell them he doesn't have the money to put them through college, and it is so painful to watch.
It was awful. That's
Yeah.
actually that's one of the lowest rated episodes of The Office.
Really?
Yeah.
Probably for that reason, because it's just pretty agonizing, and it's cruel. It's a really cruel episode.
Yeah. It's kind of that's where we kind of get a glimpse of season 1 Michael Scott, where he was still being the
An
worst
asshole.
possible thing. Yeah. I really like that they changed his character for season 2 because
Yeah, the show wouldn't have survived if they didn't change him.
no. But yeah, I thought the final episode of The Office, it was a little bit self-serving because as soon as Dwight and Angela are married, you don't have to come back to the warehouse. You don't have to go back upstairs to the office and relive old like moments because we sat there and watched it with you. We don't want to sit there and remember everything. Like
Well,
we will always remember.
I don't remember the final episode beat for beat, but thinking back to it now, it still leaves a sort of sweet taste in my mouth. Like whatever I experienced, whatever feelings I experienced during the final episode of The Office, I left satisfied.
Okay, well, if that was my worst of the week, but if you really like it and if other people really like it, I'm not going to try and take it away from you. That was what I thought of it.
Say horrible things in the comments, please.
Yeah, say horrible things about how I'm wrong and how Toby is right and how The Office is the best show in the world.
I don't think it's the best show in the world, but it's a damn good show with a really satisfying ending.
It's one of the best comedy shows I've actually seen. I'll say that. I thought the final episode wasn't that great.
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, another thing that we did with Rebecca last week, which I want to do again, just because I quite enjoyed it, was if this is the actor, what is the movie? Do you remember the premise?
No, I've totally forgotten. I have a memory of about a week, and then I forget everything.
Okay, well, just a quick introduction. I'm going to say the name of an actor, and I would like you to tell me
What
which...
the fuck is an actor?
Oh, come on, Toby.
What?
I'm going to say the name of an actor, and I want you to then tell me which movie or TV show you instantly associate them with. So,
Okay.
For example, if I was to say Elijah Wood, which Elijah Wood movie would you think of? We did that last week, so we don't need to do
Flipper.
it again.
Flipper.
Okay, so the first one I've got is Judi Dench.
Oh, I got an interesting one for that because it just immediately made me think of the last film I watched her in, which was SEO Trot, which is the movie adaptation of a Roald Dahl book.
Is it?
Yes. It's a little rom-com starring Dustin Hoffman and Judi Dench, and it's very silly. It's a very, very silly film. It's about a woman who has a pet tortoise, and Mr. Hoppy, who lives in the balcony above her, is madly in love with her. And all she wants in the world is for her tortoise to grow because he's so small. So what he does is he devises a plan where he makes up this made up like South American chant or whatever that will make her tortoise grow bigger. And it's like tortoise get bigger, but the whole sentence is written backwards. Hence SEO trot, which is tortoise backwards. So what he does is he buys hundreds of tortoises, and every day she goes out, or every week that she goes out, he has like this gadget that grabs the tortoise because she leaves it on her balcony, picks it up and replaces it with a slightly bigger tortoise. And it's just very Roald Dahl, very silly, very cute, and it has a nice happy ending. And I quite liked it. I watched it with my mum at Christmas, and it's just a very sweet film.
Very good. I'd actually never heard of it. I didn't know that they made a movie like that.
Yeah, it was sweet. I liked it. You go. Now you go.
Well, my one is actually a crime to Judi Dench herself, because the first thing that I pictured Judi Dench in was Cats, the 2019 version.
Oh, God. Oh,
right?
no. I don't want to talk about
It
it.
is a crime that is what I thought of when I thought of Judi Dench, because she's infinitely better than that festering piece of garbage. There we go. That's
Do we have to talk about
sad.
it? Have you seen it? I've not seen it.
I haven't seen it. I know that it's crap. I don't want to see it because I know that it's crap. I think we leave it there. I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
The next actor I've got for you, Johnny Depp.
Oh, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory immediately sprung to my mind.
That's what sprang to my mind.
Oh, there you go. Which is funny because he's in so much. Yeah, that's another just nostalgic film. It's Tim Burton, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
And Tim Burton is very Marmite. I think is the best way to describe Tim Burton. Is you either love his films or you hate them. And I think Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Tim Burton was like, okay, so there's already a brilliant Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It's a brilliant film. Gene Wilder, fantastic. So he's like, how do I do something different and make it my own? And I think he succeeds.
Yeah.
I think it's a well-directed, interesting movie in its own right. And I think Johnny Depp's performance, a bit kooky, but it hits all the right notes when it comes to like the relationship with his father and why he is the way he is, and it's just very Tim Burton all over. And also another Roald Dahl story.
Yeah, I think it's got a great cast and it's got some great musical choices in it as well. I quite like it, but it gets a bad rap.
Yeah, because people always compare it to the original, and I just don't think you can do that because the original will always be the better movie. I mean, there's no way of getting around that. But what he decided to do was make something completely different, and which is why it has a different name as well. It's called Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and
which is actually what Roald Dahl's book was called.
That's right.
But there you go, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for Johnny Depp.
I want to say an actor.
Oh right, okay.
Samuel L. Jackson.
The first movie that springs to my head is The Other Guys. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't. Please tell me about it.
So it's a buddy cop movie, and the main characters are actually Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg, and they're like the office nerds when it comes to like this cop show or being like an agent show. And then Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne Johnson are the main field agents, and they are like the caricature of what a good cop in a movie actually is. And
yeah,
like it's actually brilliant because Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne Johnson die, forcing Mark Wahlberg and Will Ferrell to become the agents that actually solve the big crime at the end. But I just want to talk about how Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne Johnson die because it's brilliant. They chase. They're in a chase scene, right? And they manage to end up on the roof of a building, and then a block over there is a park that's got some bushes in it. Now keep in mind they're about 20 stories up,
Mm-hmm.
and they just look at each other and nod and say, "Aim for the bushes," and they just jump right off the building
And
and they
die.
land nowhere near the bushes.
That's amazing. I like that.
It's so good. It's so
I
good.
feel like that's the best part of the movie as well. So now I don't have to watch it.
Do you know what? It actually might be. Still, if you're interested, still watch it. Just watch it for that moment alone, and then if you
Yeah.
want to keep watching after that, then fair dues. But that's the other guys. That was my Sam Jackson movie. What was yours?
Nice. Mine was Kong Skull Island,
Mm,
which
yeah,
I think is an underrated gem. I think it's great fun. And surprisingly, like you wouldn't think it would have like depth to it and an emotion tied to it, but it actually like the character John C. Riley's character has a nice emotional sort of ending, and it's just you wouldn't expect that from a monster movie starring Big Monkey.
Big Monkey. No,
Monkey.
I get that. Um, a complaint that I have with Kong Skull Island is Tom Hiddleston and Brie Larson don't have an objective. They don't have a character arc. They are completely unchanged from the start to the finish.
Do you know what? Do you want? I agree with you because I literally completely forgot that either of those people were in that movie.
Right? You like it's John Goodman and it's Sam Jackson and it's John C. Riley, and then there's those two as well for some reason.
And an interesting little aside: Toby Kebbell, who was in Black Mirror and is also in Kong Skull Island, who gets killed by the lizard people. He also plays Kong as well, which is kind of cool.
Does he? Does he do the mocap?
No, he does like a Gundam wing transformation where he just turns into monkey.
Awesome.
They were
Thank
kind
you
of
for
lucky
that.
they found him for the role.
Have you got another actor that you want to talk about that you want to do, or
Have you?
I've got a couple.
Okay, well I'll go because you've done two and I've done one, and then we'll do one more each.
Okay,
How's
okay,
that
go for it.
sound? Okay, I'm going to do a lady this time. I'm going to say Meryl Streep.
Do you have a movie? Because I can't think of any.
I do. I was going to say Mamma Mia.
Okay, okay, interesting. I I don't remember much of Mamma Mia.
See, here's my thing with Meryl Streep, and this is going to be really controversial. And
Mhm.
I don't actually think it's her fault. My opinion on it has evolved over time, but I feel like she is sort of headhunted for Oscar bait movies. So like directors are like, how do we get this movie nominated for Oscars? I know, let's hit the Meryl Streep button
Mhm.
because she's just that much of a phenomenal actress that anything she's in tends to get nominated for stuff.
It's because you're right. She is absolutely phenomenal. And she can take almost anything and make it watchable.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I can't think of a Meryl Streep film where even bad ones where it's her fault that it's bad.
Yeah. Okay. Um, because did Mamma Mia get nominated or was it?
I don't remember, but I just remember it being in the cinema for like 800,000 years
Yeah.
because
Um,
mums and grannies just would not stop going to see it. Pretty sure I saw it. I saw it in the cinema. I think I saw it twice. I'm not
I
sure.
had I had to see it in cinema as part of a school trip. Um,
Oh my god.
there was I can't remember why. I was in primary school when it came out, and we were gonna see something else, but all the boys in the class were like, let's go and see Mamma Mia because it'll be fucking funny." And I was just sat there like, I don't want to watch it.
And so your opinion of it is negative because you didn't personally choose to go and see it.
No, it's not that my opinion of the movie is negative. It's just I don't really have an opinion of the movie because I can't remember anything that happens in it.
I
My
think it's good
opinion of
fun.
my class in primary school plummeted that day. Like I already thought most of them were wankers, and now they'll forever be wankers in my mind now. That's it.
What did you want to go and see?
I can't remember. I can't even remember what the option was. It was Mamma Mia or something else, and they all picked Mamma Mia, and I was like, well, fuck all of you, I guess.
That's hilarious.
The Meryl Streep movie that I thought of was A Series of Unfortunate Events.
Oh, again, Tim Burton at his best. Underrated.
It's a very underrated movie. I
Billy
get
Connolly's
why
in that, isn't he?
Billy Connolly is in it. He plays Montgomery.
And he has a python called Monty. I always remembered that.
He's very good. He's very good in that. But Meryl Streep's very good as well.
I always remember her. What was it when because her house is like teetering on a cliff, and Klaus goes up to the fridge and she says, "Klaus, get away from that before it squashes you flat." Mm-hmm. I always used to remember that.
Yes, Aunt Josephine, I think is her name. Yeah, it is a very good movie. Jim Carrey at his best.
It's a miserable film,
but it's brilliant because all you want is for Count Olaf to finally get put away in prison because he's a horrible man. No, I thought that was a good film. I liked her in it.
I mean, it's probably been about 15 years since I've seen it.
I think it's on Netflix.
I'm not going to rush to watch it because I think you need to be in a specific mood to watch Tim Burton.
Yeah. Do you know what's weird? The Netflix series of A Series of Unfortunate Events.
With Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah?
And Patrick Warburton is Lemony Snicket.
Oh my god, that is hilarious. Fucking Joe Swanson is Lemony Snicket.
Joe Swanson is Lemony Snicket.
Fucking Kronk.
He does all the fucking narration for it. It's really weird. I tried to watch it ages ago and I couldn't get into it.
That's so bad.
Right? Yeah. I wasn't a fan.
That is so bad, dude. Oh my god.
Okay, so you've done 2 and I've done 2. Will I do one more and then we'll round it off, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. So the one that I have is Ricky Gervais.
Because it can be a TV show, can't it?
It can be, yeah.
Extras.
Yeah, okay.
Extras.
Eleanor really wants me to watch that.
Fucking great. It's so good.
I remember watching a couple of episodes. I watched the one with, what's his name? Ross Kemp?
Bruce Willis?
No, I watched, there's an episode of Extras where the guy in it is seen as like, oh, he's a hard man. And then he acts like he's a hard man off camera, but then somebody comes up and squares up to him and then he pussies out.
Is it Vinnie Jones?
I can't remember.
I can't remember either.
But yeah, from the episodes that I've seen, it's really good. I've seen the clip of Daniel Radcliffe on Extras. That's quite funny.
Oh yeah, he throws a fucking condom and it hits Diana Rigg in the head.
Yeah, I just hope it's big enough.
That's so good. There's also when he knocks Warwick Davis out by kicking him. and Kate fucking Winslet making fun of someone with cerebral palsy.
Ooh.
It's mad. Basically, she goes, she thinks the woman's like method acting or something. Mm-hmm. And she goes, think about it. That's how you get Oscars. Look at Tom Hanks and Dustin Hoffman. Just play a mental. Fucking Kate Winslet. Just play a mental.
Fucking hell.
It's so bad, but it's hilarious.
Ugh, that's so. Ugh.
Yeah, I'd say it's one of his. Yeah, I'd say it's one of his better. I don't think there is a bad Ricky Gervais sitcom. I know people have issues with like Derek and stuff, but I think the way he handles Derek and the way he portrays autism and the way he actually portrays Derek is very rarely, very, very rarely, and also very tastefully when it does happen. Very rarely is the joke on Derek.
And that's the distinction, is that they're very rarely laughing at Derek for
No.
the wrong reason.
And if they're laughing at Derek, it's because he's done something funny, not because he's autistic. Like,
Yeah.
Derek is the hero in that story, and I think it's very clear. And yeah, so I think Derek is handled very well. Derek also makes me cry. There's a scene. Have you seen it?
I haven't seen Derek, no.
Oh man, I don't want to spoil it, but basically, there's a scene. I think it's the season 1 finale, and it's so cheesy, and it's like a Coldplay song. They're playing "Fix You" by Coldplay, and it's so cheesy, but it actually, like, every time I watch the finale of Derek, I howl crying. It makes me cry so much. So I'd recommend you watch Derek.
Okay. I might give it a shot. Is it still on Netflix? Do you know?
I think so. I think all of his stuff's
Okay.
on Netflix.
Coincidentally, the show that I associate with Ricky Gervais is actually Afterlife, which is on Netflix.
Yeah. I've not seen season 2.
Do you know what? I haven't even seen all of season 1. The episodes that I watched, I was just like, this is
Really sad.
far too bleak.
Yeah. It's a really sad show.
The last episode that I watched was that one where he invites the junkie to come back to his house because he wants to try heroin.
Can we not
And then
say
at the end,
junkie?
what, he is a junkie.
That's not politically correct, but
Why is it not politically correct? Tell me why. This is a good learning point. Tell me why junkie isn't politically correct.
because junkie is a pejorative. It implies that this guy's a criminal, that he's a bottom feeder, when really he's just someone struggling with substance abuse.
See, I always thought junkie was because you were on the junk, and junk
Yeah,
is
but
slang for heroin.
Still a pejorative, isn't it?
Okay, should I say?
I grew up with a stepmother who works with people recovering from addiction, so it's kind of in my head that certain words I shouldn't say. So I apologize for pulling you up. But
No, it's fine. If you felt it was necessary to pull me up, then
no, I don't think anyone's gonna fucking jump down your throat. But I don't know.
Okay.
I like
Should
to.
should I say druggy then? Is that better?
No. Say the drug addict, for God's sake.
Okay. He invites this drug addict to come back to his house because he wants to try heroin, and he
Yeah.
ends up smoking a joint with heroin in it. And then towards the end of the episode, he invites him back and he has a conversation with him, and the drug addict says, "If I had enough money to overdose, I would overdose right now because I don't want to be alive anymore."
Oh my God.
And then
Yeah.
Ricky Gervais gives him the money he needs to get the overdose
Yep.
because he feels sorry for him.
And then he overdoses
And then he overdoses. It's not even
and
like
dies.
it's not even like he thinks about it or anything. He takes the money, goes right out to his dealer, buys everything he needs, and then goes back to wherever it is he stays and just dies. And that's
Yeah,
it.
it's fucking sad. And yeah, so like, yeah, this guy is an addict, and it's very, very sad. But it's just a vulnerable person, and Ricky Gervais's character does a really fucked up thing in aiding this vulnerable person in the wrong way.
Yeah. I understand what he's doing with Afterlife, but it's not a show that I'd like to sit down and watch just because every episode is too sad for me.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's the show that I associate with him because I understand it's critically very, very good. It's not for me.
Yeah, I get that. It's the same with me. I've only seen season 1 because I was like, fuck, this was good, but it's not fun.
No. Talking of fun, I actually have something that I think can be a little bit more fun. I want to bring back Brilliant or Bollocks. What do you reckon?
Go on, to it. We're bringing it back, baby.
So this Brilliant or Bollocks, is actually a little bit easier than last week, but I still want to have a conversation about it.
hmm
The actor that I've got is Dwayne Johnson.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Yeah. Is he Brilliant or Bollocks?
Bollocks.
See, I also think I'm leaning more towards Bollocks at the start, but I want to figure out if he is Bollocks or if we just think he's Bollocks because he plays the same character in every movie.
That's why he's bollocks. He's a stuntman. He's the action guy. It's not none of the films I've never seen him take a challenging role. He's just the action guy. It's the switch your brain off movie. That's what he does. And that's fine. Sometimes you want that, but it doesn't mean he's a brilliant actor.
But is that his fault? Because he'll definitely just be given the same role over and over and over again.
Well, yeah,
Because
he's typecast.
that's what movie producers want. So we
But
haven't actually seen him try to act differently.
how do we know he hasn't been auditioning for more serious roles? Because I will immediately counter that suggestion with Dave Bautista, who is brilliant and is a phenomenal actor because he has done serious stuff, which he's obviously auditioned for, and then he's done them. Like Blade Runner 2049, just amazing. He's amazing in that. And Guardians of the Galaxy, there's just so many beats with Drax where he's just beautifully acted. And yeah, so Dave Bautista and Dwayne Rock Johnson, they're both wrestlers who are now actors. But I can think of notable and memorable Bautista performances, but I can't think of a single notable or memorable Dwayne Johnson performance.
Is that because you've not seen the right things, though? Because I can think of a couple of performances where he didn't just play the same character.
Go on.
The first one that comes to mind, and this one actually might not be fair because he is playing himself, but it's Fighting with My Family.
Yeah, that's that one with Nick Frost.
Yeah, it's a movie that follows the story of I can't remember what her real name is, but her wrestler name is Paige. It's a documentary, it's a docu-movie about her family and how she became a wrestler in the WWE. And obviously The Rock's in it.
Biopic.
Yeah. The Rock is in it, and he does play himself, but he doesn't play The Rock the character. He plays The Rock as the wrestler and how he approaches wrestling and how he he educates her rather than he's the big action guy. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And his moments are actually quite tender moments because he makes them so. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Another example of him not being exactly the same is, it's a bit more of a stretch, but it's Get Smart.
That's an older one. I've seen half of that and then I fell asleep.
So, so it's Steve Carell. He's the lead, and then Anne Hathaway and Alan Arkin and Dwayne Johnson. And spoiler alert: Dwayne Johnson actually plays one of the villains.
Gasp!
He's a mole in the spy agency that they all work for, and you don't know this until towards the end. At the beginning, you just think, oh, it's The Rock. He's going to be like
wisecracking.
Right? He's going to be the wisecracking rock character that everybody thinks he is. And then towards the end, he becomes much more sinister and he becomes a little bit more threatening, and it works. He does play a good baddie. And it works because he has worked as a heel in wrestling before. He knows how to be intimidating. He knows how to make the audience want to see them get his ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's fair to say that him playing the same role is always his fault, because I guarantee you he will have taken Jumanji because he will have thought it'd be something different for him.
You reckon?
Absolutely. Like, if you went up to The Rock and said, we want you a massive, like over 6 foot guy with bulging muscles to play a 16, 17-year-old who is nerdy, but he's just going to be inside your body, would you take that role? Absolutely, you would, because it sounds like it's going to be a dramatic role. It sounds like it's going to be funny, but also quite endearing.
Mm-hmm. I kind of see where you're going.
Also, Moana, he plays
Oh my
Maui,
god, yeah, he's really good in Moana. Okay, I'll give you that.
right? He's fantastic in Moana, and he does actually have tender moments where we can see Maui fail. We can hear it in The Rock's voice, and I believe if The Rock was actually on the screen, we would see it in him as well. It's not just his voice. You can't just portray something in the voice without it coming through in the face and the body.
Mm-hmm.
But then you get movies like Fast and Furious and Baywatch and Rampage,
Which
where
are just terrible.
they're the same character in different scenarios. That's all they are. And there's nothing wrong with movies like that.
What about
because, like
Skyscraper, where it's the same guy, but this time he has one leg?
or San Andreas, where it's the same guy, but this time he's in like a natural disaster.
Oh, yeah.
This is why I wanted to make the case for why The Rock might not be bollocks, because he does have the capabilities. It's just he keeps doing these movies over and over again where it's the same character.
Mm-hmm.
Having made that case, would you change what you've said, or do you still think The Rock is bollocks?
I still think he's pretty bollocks.
Okay. Overall, I'm happy to agree with that, because this should be a challenge now. I know that The Rock is listening, and I know that he cares about what we say. So I want The Rock to take this challenge and do more dramatic roles, because you're 48. You can't be an action hero forever. Just ask Bruce Willis.
Well, Bruce Willis has tried.
He has tried. And he's not really done that well.
No,
Mainly because Die Hard sequels.
He's a bit of a knob, is he not?
Apparently he is. I don't actually know why.
He's just a diva.
Okay, I'm writing down Dwayne Johnson as bollocks.
Okay, I got one for you. Just keep it along the action movie vein.
Go on then.
This one's a doozy. Jason Statham.
My instinct is that he's not bollocks, but he is bollocks, isn't he?
Yeah. The immediate film that I would think of to jump to his defense is Spy, because he plays a parody of the characters that he plays in his action movies.
Mm-hmm.
And he's so fucking good. He's so good. Like, I didn't think he could be a funny character. Like, I didn't think he could be a comedic actor, but he's just brilliant in Spy.
Okay. I haven't seen Spy. What I have seen is The Meg.
Oh my god, it's so bad.
Do you know what?
I hate that film so much.
I really like The Meg. It's my go-to switch off your brain movie, because it's
it's definitely cheesy.
It's brilliant. The reason I have a big problem with it is because, do they care about the shark or not? Because every other scene is them going, this shark could destroy the world, but then also Jason Statham and the Asian woman are like, are they gonna have sex or not? Like, we don't have time for this flirting banter. There's a giant prehistoric shark on the loose.
And then, spoilers, bigger shark.
There's always a bigger fish.
There's always a bigger fish, baby.
Qui-Gon Jinn coming through with the predictions of how the Meg would end.
Qui-Gon Jinn kind of spitting, you know? He kind of spitting. He's spitting bars.
Do you know what? Jason Statham was fine in the Meg. The movie's problems can't be put on Jason Statham's on his shoulders. So, but then he's also in films like Snatch, which is
not seen it.
I haven't seen it either. However, the IMDb rating alone makes me think that it's a fantastic movie. and I've heard about it in all of the great film reviews. I've heard about it in the top 100 movies of all time. Apparently it's a fantastic movie, which leads me to believe that the reason he keeps getting cast in all of these action movies is because he was so good in Snatch.
Oh shit, yeah, Snatch is like really fucking up there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd say he's brilliant then.
he's more brilliant than The Rock. He
Holy
absolutely
shit.
is.
The cast is amazing. Benicio del Toro, Vinnie Jones, Brad Pitt, Jason Statham. Shit, that's why have I genuinely feel like I have never heard of this film. Oh, Jason Fleming's in it. I like him.
You've never even heard of Snatch.
Yeah.
That's
Lenny
weird.
James is in it. And Ewan Bremner.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a fantastic like sort of gangster movie, isn't it?
And Stephen Graham. Damn, all the boys be out here.
Me and the boys out here snatching. Okay, so I'm happy to say that Jason Statham is brilliant.
Bloody
What do
brilliant.
you think?
I
Bloody
agree.
brilliant. Okay.
Bloody brilliant.
Do you have anything else to add to the Nicolas Cage debate before we move on?
No, I need to go and watch some more. So keep him in question mark.
That's fine. I will keep him in question mark. So, Dwayne Johnson, bollocks, and Jason Statham, brilliant. Okay. I think we should do that every time we do brilliant or bollocks. I'll come with one and you come with one.
Let's do two ladies next week.
I will. I am happy to do two ladies next. Actually, not like that, but I'm happy to bring up two ladies next week.
Cool.
Okay. I've got another random topic for the end of this. If you wanted to just talk about it briefly.
Hit me with it.
So the random topic I've got is who is the most interesting fictional character that you can think of?
Ooh, that's a good one. The one that immediately popped into my head, and this is the book character, not the film character, is Sherlock Holmes.
That's a fantastic one.
Yeah, because I've read I'd say about 2/3 of the Arthur Conan Doyle Sherlock Holmes stories, and God, they're so fucking good. And Holmes is such an interesting character.
Yeah, and that's one of the problems with like media portrayals of him in movies and even the Sherlock TV show is they're based on the character of Sherlock Holmes, but they're not the character of Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I'd say the closest I've seen to getting him right is probably is it Jonathan Pryce? He played him in a few movies.
I don't know. I've only seen the modern ones.
I'm sure it's Jonathan Pryce because I remember seeing him years ago, and I just thought, wow, that's cool as shit.
And don't get me wrong, I like Robert Downey Jr.'s portrayal, and I like
phenomenal.
Benedict Cumberbatch's portrayal.
I prefer of the big budget Sherlock Holmes. Downey Jr. is my favorite because I love the period setting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is very, very good. The movie franchise as a whole, maybe not the best, but that's not down to him.
No, I think they're great. I disagree. I think they're great. They're great fun.
I didn't like the second one. I didn't like Game of Shadows.
Did you not?
No, I even went to go and see it in the cinema, and I came away from it like, I don't want to watch that again.
It's quite faithful to the book in a lot of ways, and then not so faithful in a lot of other ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jonathan Pryce did some sort of TV movies where he played Sherlock Holmes, and he was actually, he's very good.
Well, fair dues. I actually didn't know that.
What else?
Why would you say Sherlock Holmes is one of the most interesting characters?
Because I don't think... actually, because he's persisted for so long in pop culture and popular media. He's endured so long and has never really gone away. And like every time people have tried to sort of riff off it and mirror him, but like with a different character, it's just not stuck. Something happened with Sherlock Holmes. Like Conan Doyle just captured lightning in a bottle and made this really unique, cold and unfeeling character, but also equally caring. Like he's a lot more caring in the books than he is in the in like TV shows I've seen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand what you mean about the TV show, because he ultimately does care about John Watson, but they've played up the fact that he's a little bit cold and unfeeling a little bit too much.
Yeah, like it's almost like Benedict Cumberbatch's interpretation. It's almost like he's on the spectrum, and there's nothing wrong
I
with
think
that.
that's I think
Absolutely
that's what
nothing
they were
wrong with
going
that,
for.
obviously,
Yeah.
but he's not on the spectrum in the books.
No.
And he almost also sort of feels like a superhero in
Mm-hmm.
the shows, but in the books he's just a very clever man.
Yeah. I've got another name to throw in the ring for the most interesting fictional character, and I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how you're going to react to it, but I think Pennywise the Dancing Clown.
Yeah, I agree with that. This interdimensional being that
Right?
takes form of your greatest fears and is also a gross clown.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely hate what the It movies have done to that story, though, because they're not good movies.
Are you
But
sure?
Bill Skarsgård is a fantastic Pennywise, and I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely I'm terrified of him,
Oh yeah,
genuinely
it's
terrified.
his wandering eye that
I
bothers
just
me.
I couldn't do it. I went to go and see It Chapter 2 with Eleanor in the cinema, and I needed to leave. I couldn't. I was absolutely shitting myself.
Are you scared of clowns?
No, I've got no fear of clowns whatsoever.
Seems like you might.
I don't have a problem with clowns. I have a fear of the unknown, and a lot of the movie's scares are jump scares, and it was just jump scare after jump scare after jump scare, and you never knew what was going to come out from the dark. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't
And
really appreciate horror movies that rely on jump scares to get their kicks. Like, it's cheap.
that's why I don't think the It movies are actually good. Like, especially like specifically the new ones. I haven't seen the oh, what's his name? Steve Curry.
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Tim Curry. I haven't seen his It movie. I know it's different. But specifically the ones with Bill Skarsgård in them, their stories aren't great, and they take the long way round every single time to get to the point. And it
Yeah.
felt like there was the second act of It Chapter 2 didn't have to be there, but they put it in there because they needed to flesh out the movie.
Hmm.
I love the character of Pennywise. I just absolutely hate the fact that there hasn't been a great movie where Bill Skarsgård has gotten to play him properly. Do you know what I mean?
It was originally going to be Will Poulter, who is
Who
from.
played Pennywise?
He was going to be Pennywise, yeah.
Will Poulter from Bandersnatch.
Yep.
Oh my god.
His eyebrows, bro.
He does have fantastic eyebrows. He's been bullied for his eyebrows by loads of people. Like, I think he deleted his social media because he got a lot of negative attention after Bandersnatch because
That's
of
a
his
shame.
eyebrows.
His eyebrows are dope.
I love him as an actor. I think he's
Yeah, he's
brilliant.
brilliant. I remember seeing the first thing he was ever in, which was Son of Rambo, and I've actually followed his career ever since. Way
The
back when that came out.
youngest I've seen him play was in the Narnia film, The
Narnia,
Voyage of
yeah.
the Dawn Treader.
Dawn Treader.
I think he's brilliant in everything. I haven't seen him do a bad performance.
He's brilliant in Son of Rambo.
The only thing I could think of that would be a negative thing for him would be We're the Millers, and that's not because it's of him, though. Have you seen it?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it because it's just not my kind of movie.
No. Like, he gets bit on the balls by a spider, and it's weird. It's a weird movie, but that's not on him. But him as Pennywise would have been absolutely. Actually, I was gonna say brilliant, but I don't know if it would be.
Well, we'll never know.
No, I'd love to have seen him try it, But
Yeah.
I think Bill Skarsgård was, for me, the right call.
Okay. Well, that's us for another week. I hope. Well done if you made it to the end of the podcast, and we hope to see you next time. I've been Toby.
I've been Ryan. Follow us on Spotify, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and we will see you next time.
Bye.